What's going on, guys? Jacob Billingsley, Build the Base podcast. Another episode today. We are covering creatine, the benefits of creatine, as well as covering a couple common misconceptions around creatine for athletes, especially youth athletes. So, getting straight into it, there's 5 main reasons that I wanted to discuss today. A lot of our athletes use this as well. I have been using creatine daily between 5 and 10 grams for probably close to a year now. I've used it sparingly throughout college, throughout professional, but honestly, just never really was consistent with it. And over the last year, I've been very consistent with it pretty much every day, 5 to 10 grams. Reasons why creatine can be beneficial for athletes is the first one, and the most commonly known one, is that creatine improves strength and power output. ATP is the energy that you use as a power athlete. It's the short burst of energy that happens in things like sprints, jumps, max effort swings, max effort rotations, max effort throws. ATP is the energy that is used during that time frame. Creatine replenishes some of that energy. So an easy way to explain ATP and this energy system is, let's say that you're in the gym and let's say that you do a couple of high intensity reps of a certain exercise. Let's say that you're doing dumbbell weighted jumps. You go 3 to 5 jumps, you start to get fatigued towards the end and you have to wait a little bit for your energy to come back. That is ATP. ATP is the energy that is being used in those short bursts. Waiting long enough for your body to recover and replenish ATP is how you get that power output back for your second set of jumps. And supplementing with creatine is going to have more creatine stores in your body for your body to use for that power and strength output. Again, examples that is going to help with is higher vertical, faster sprint times, more explosive throws. Those are obviously all very important in the athletes that we train. So if you're an explosive power athlete, creatine is going to help you tremendously because it is going to help you replenish your ATP stores much faster, which again is what those quick twitch exercises run off of. The second point is that it's going to enhance training quality. And the way that it's going to do that is because it lets athletes push more reps and sets at higher intensities. Because when you go through those higher intent reps, ATP and creatine is what replenishes that storage. If you run out of creatine, if you run out of ATP, you're going to be fatigued and you're not going to be able to get more reps or more sets in. But if you have additional storage of creatine, you're going to have more energy so that you can push that higher intensity longer. Obviously, that's going to help you in sport. That's going to help you in your training quality. If you're in the weight room, if you're working on sprinting, if you're a baseball player and you're working on swings, or if you're a pitcher and you're working on pitching, having more explosive energy is going to enhance your training quality. And obviously, being able to push for more high intent reps and sets over the long term is going to lead to better long-term athletic development and long-term development in general versus just surviving the workouts and trying to make it through it. You want to thrive in those workouts and have the energy to where all of your reps are at a very high level. That way you are able to push longer. Third point is that it's going to support muscle growth, specifically lean mass. So it's going to increase water content in the muscle plus the training capacity is going to lead to more muscle over time. So think about it like this. If you get to train at a higher intensity because you have higher energy stores, you are going to increase your muscle mass over time because you are having better workouts. If you're having better workouts over time, of course, you're going to make better progress. So that's the third one there. It's going to support muscle growth, specifically lean muscle tissue. It's also going to be very useful for the undersized athletes that are needing to gain weight, gain size without gaining excess fat. It's going to help increase the lean muscle tissue by having better workouts that you can push longer in those workouts. The fourth point is that it's going to actually aid in recovery. It's going to reduce muscle damage and fatigue between sessions. So again, think about it just from a bird's eye view. If you are fatigued between sets or between sessions, your next set or your next session is not going to be as good as the previous one. If it is not as good as the previous one, obviously you're going to be working from a deficit. You're going to be trying to recover at the same time you're training. Those don't go hand in hand. You need to be recovered before you're training. If you go and train while you are fatigued, you're already in muscle damage. Training is going to cause more muscle damage. That is what training is. You're tearing the muscle fibers. That way you can replace them with food. You can recover them through sleep and rest, and then you can go back and tear them again and grow them again. If you are already fatigued and you go into the training session and tear them more, you're going to be digging yourself deeper and deeper into a recovery deficit. So by being able to recover more quickly between reps, between sets, between sessions in general, being able to just recover more quickly is going to allow you to not only have better training sessions each time, but it's going to allow you to recover better between training sessions. So that way your next training session can be better as well. It's going to help you come back fresher for your next game, your next lift, or your next practice. That's going to be very beneficial over the long term. So creatine supplementation is going to be very vital for energy production, recovery, the quality of your next training session, and growing lean muscle tissue. The last point I wanted to make was it is the most researched nutrition supplement for performance specifically. So this is one of the most studied supplements in sports nutrition. There's absolutely no evidence whatsoever of harm in healthy individuals when taken properly, which is roughly between 3 and 7 grams per dosage per day. 5 gram, typically the scoops that are going to come in creatine is going to be about a 5 gram scoop. If you're eating gummies, sometimes it's going to be between that 3 and 7 gram per gummy per serving. So that range between that 3 and 7 grams a day is what is the most research. There is now some new research that is coming out that's showing even more benefits from taking higher dosages of creatine. Those are newer, so there's not as many studies on taking higher dosages of that creatine yet. But from what they are currently getting, there's tons of neural and cognitive benefits. And they're using it in many more populations other than just athletes and athletic performance. This is something that a lot of people are starting to take just for mental health, for long term health, but from an athletic performance standpoint, it is the most researched supplement for athletes and youth athletes and completely healthy to use. Misconceptions that we hear sometimes is that creatine is not safe for kids. Reality is that creatine is naturally found in food. So foods like red meats, fish, it is also naturally produced in the body. So if your child is eating red meats or fish, you're getting creatine. Like I mentioned, it is also naturally produced in the body. So creatine is completely fine for youth athletes. It is the most researched supplement of all time for performance benefits. Completely safe for use for youth athletes. So if your kid is consuming a steak, they are already consuming creatine. Another common misconception that we get is that it is unnatural or it is a steroid. Creatine is not a steroid. It is not a hormone. It does not affect testosterone or growth hormones in any way whatsoever. It is a naturally occurring compound that is stored in muscles, in the muscle fibers. So overall, creatine helps your body use energy better. So to simplify, creatine is a superpower and a cheat code for athletes, completely safe for use for youth athletes as well when taken in the right dosages between 3 and 7 grams a day. It's completely fine for use. Again, there are new studies coming out that is higher dosages can be more beneficial for other reasons other than performance. But we know for a fact, this is factual, this is studies that have shown complete and safe use of creatine in athletes specifically to help with energy production, power and strength output, recovery, gaining lean muscle tissue, and having overall better workouts because you're able to recover quicker between reps, between sets, between training sessions, and overall is going to increase athletic performance dramatically. I would highly recommend that you take this. Creatine storages need to be consistent. So you need to take this 7 days per week, year round. This is a supplement that you take daily. This is not one that you just take before you train because it needs to be stored in the muscle and it needs to be released during the right times. So having this constant creatine supplementation and dosage in your body is going to help you when you actually need it. This is something that you need to take daily. It needs to be consistent. The best way that I personally have found to do this is that when I'm refilling my water cup in the morning while I'm waiting on my cup of coffee, I will put my 10 grams of creatine in my water. I sip on the water while I'm waiting on the coffee to brew. I'm getting my creatine out of the way first thing in the morning. So one thing I would suggest is habit stack this. Something that you're already doing every single day, put your creatine beside that. If you have creatine gummies, put the gummy bottle right beside your toothbrush, because we know that you're going to brush your teeth every single day, multiple times a day. So that way, right before you brush your teeth, you eat your gummy, then you brush your teeth. That's what's called a habit stack, which we can break down in another episode. But it needs to be consistent. So those are 5 reasons why creatine is very beneficial for athletes, especially from an athletic performance standpoint. If you have more questions, comments, concerns, or if you want to hear another episode regarding something similar to this, leave a comment, shoot an email. We'll get to it. We'll cover it in one of the episodes. Until I talk to you in the next podcast, have a great day.